Cheers. It's coffee time.
Hello.
Oh, wait. Here, let's do this. Here we go.
Just fair warning, Indy and I are both sick with different things. We didn't catch it from each other. So there may be points in the show where I start sounding like Batman, and there may be points where Indy can't hear you at all. So welcome to Friday. Oh, Indy, thank you for the 4-month sub.
Woo! 4-month sub.
Oh, yes. So welcome to, as we just decided to call this one, F It Friday.
Yeah.
Because it's been that kind of week. We skipped the show on Wednesday because I was, sick. And now we're running a few minutes late. We're quasi-organized today.
I've got an ear infection.
And I'm getting over bronchitis. So, it's a great day.
At least it's Friday.
I would start drinking, but we have our very first under-6 soccer game today. And I don't think we're allowed to tailgate those things.
That is the perfect time to start drinking.
Seriously, you want to go watch some amoeba soccer, I can't get, I'm anxious to see it because this is obviously the first time that I as a parent have encountered this stuff. And the field that they play on, when it's marked off, it's tiny. And yeah, I know they're 6, but it's still like, oh my God, that is such a tiny little field. It's almost like arena soccer, but with no walls.
It's like a quarter size or something.
I don't know if it's a quarter size.
They probably, what they do is use an actual field and then just play sideways on it, maybe?
No, it's not that big.
Oh, really? Okay.
It may be, and I don't know because I haven't seen I'll be able to give you a full rundown on Wednesday. I haven't seen the field laid out on a regulation field. We've just had the field at the school laid out like in the middle of the track in the grass area, which I guess is like outfield of the softball baseball field. But I don't think it's even half the ball that they use is tiny. It's like a size 3 ball.
You would think it would be bigger.
It's not. I mean, I'm trying to think. It's not as big as a bowling ball because I can just pick the thing. I mean, my hands aren't huge. I can just pick the thing up and walk off with it.
Your hands are huge.
Huge. Did we do Discord? Did we even announce that we're live?
No, we can do that though. I mean, it's our show. We can. Everyone, just hold on a second.
Yes.
There we go. What's up? Welcome. Small hands. Something else must be small. Yeah.
I'm compensating for something.
You know what they say though? You have big feet. You wear big socks, right?
I don't wear socks that often.
Me either, actually. You know what? The last time I wore socks was when I went to a conference, which was last year. So, because I don't wear shoes. I mean, I wear these lovely Crocs. Did I ever show you these? Hold on.
No.
All right, Crocs. I never thought I would wear Crocs, but I got these right here.
Every guy that I know who wears them, that's how they start out saying. It's like, I never thought I would wear them, but.
Yeah, but look at them. They got bacon and eggs, skull and crossbones.
I wanted some that had, we were on vacation at one of the outlet malls and they had a Croc store. And I wanted to get some that were like fuzzy lined for winter. And yes. I thought they made they didn't have them in that store.
Oh, you got to order them. You got to just look on Crocs. They have so many different kinds of Crocs now. So, I mean, there's probably 100 different kinds. They have lined ones. They got like boot ones. I don't know if they have ones that tie. They have like dress shoe looking ones. Doesn't that defeat the purpose? They have like dress shoe looking ones. Well, I started out with these ones.
Yeah.
With these for the garden, right? So I could work around outside in the garden. They got holes in them. So if it got wet, the water just comes.
That's the standard.
Yeah. These ones are actually more comfortable than my new ones. My new ones are stiff. These are like flexible and there. We just, Sponsored by Crocs. Okay.
Yeah. And that's our show for the day, folks.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Exactly.
So while Indy's telling the world on Discord that we are actually finally live, and
oh, is that what I'm doing?
I thought that's what you were doing.
If I do that, then it's going to take away your camera.
Oh, all right. Well, never mind. We're not going to do that. We'll let everybody on Discord figure it out.
Let me see if
I'll do it. Go ahead and start on the news.
Here,
I'll take care of it.
Okay. Are you sure? Because I just realized I could do it in a browser.
I'm good.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the fun news first. All right. This is not necessarily news. I'm going to just start the show off with this. I mean, it is news, but it's not indie gaming news. So the game Scum has recently come out.
That's the one that does not have Nazi symbols in it now, right?
I don't know. Did it used to have Nazi symbols?
Yeah, it was a big thing earlier this week about Devolver caught so much shit, or reevaluated what they were doing, that they took the Nazi tattoos out of the game. But anyway, go ahead. So
Scum, a lot of people are playing it. I haven't had a chance to play it. I haven't even watched it. Some people are actually doing role play in it, and I'm guessing it's a battle royale type thing, but it's more an open world RPG. So anyways, one player's quest to become the heaviest character in Scum. All he does is sit around and eat fat and lay around. He's got like a couch full of just zombie fat that he eats, apparently. I mean, that's like, I've seen people do that kind of stuff. Like, their main thing is to just like stay level 1 and just do whatever it is that they do, or like the passive build in Skyrim. Have you ever seen that, where people
and there's the guy that did it in World of Warcraft too,
the passive, right?
Yep.
Where he will get, like in Skyrim, because you can have other things attack other things, you do that, but you just don't actually kill anything. So it's kind of cool. He's what does it say here? Character has gone from 125 to 188 kilograms. The secret, mainly what I do is lay on the ground and eat fat. That game looks pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check it out, actually. I'm
gonna look into this. I want to know how the game does that. Early access survival has a pretty intricate metabolism system. Wow.
Doesn't GTA have that as well?
Well, I don't know. I never played the most recent one, but the one before it did. I mean, you had to, if you wanted to get stronger, you had to like ride your bike or work out, and if you just like constantly went by the fast food place and got, burgers, it would, you just got bigger and your energy went down, which I think is interesting. I do think that is
Scum
that's a pretty cool thing to do.
700,000 copies in a week.
Oh my goodness! Congratulations. So who's the developer?
See, we're supposed to be on top of this shit.
I know. Oh, it's from Gamepires and Crow Team.
Oh, it's Crow Team. That's right. Yep. I know those guys. Yep. I've hung out with them. I've talked to them on the show a couple times on my stream. I have to reach out to them, and I got to do some GTA San Andreas. Yes, I got to do some like pre-release date stuff with them. They're all super nice dudes, and they also make the one. What is that shooter? The FPS Crow Team makes. The
one they make. Not Silent Sam.
Yeah, Serious Sam. They also did the thing
Silent Sam is the statue that got ripped down at my alma mater.
Serious Sam. They also did the thing where they made copies of the game where there are these bosses that just keep coming and coming and coming and you can never beat. And then they I don't know if they put it out as on like download sites so people would pirate the game, and that's what they got.
Nice.
So then when they would complain about, I can't get past this level, they're like, well, you pirated the game. Always a good idea. Yeah, Crow Team dudes are nice. Actually, am I following them on Twitter? Yes, I am following them.
So Serious Sam, only $20.
They are coming out. Serious Sam VR: The Last Hope. Serious
That
Sam
is going to be
VR.
madness.
Game Dev Tycoon.
Yeah, so it's only like $20. The reviews on Steam are mixed.
For Scum?
Yeah. Which is never a good sign.
Paradox Publisher Weekend. Battletech.
I want to know if they might have possibly shoved it out the door fast to get ahead of Fallout 76. I mean, obviously they didn't shove it out the door completely because it's in early access, but it's
they're also doing the thing where someone's streaming it right now on their page.
No, I saw that. I'm gonna have to take a look at that one. I love survival games.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them. You have been wishlist. All right. So, what's next? What's yeah.
Yeah, I'm
gonna see how many we get in this show because we're both kind of like, ugh.
I gotta take this off my ear. It's too much pressure. VentureBeat. Indie devs can now use the same voice comms tool as Fortnite for free. Oh, I saw that too. I was gonna put that in here.
And that's pretty cool. And it goes along with the fact that Fortnite is making shit tons of money right now. But you know, it allow the revenue that it's bringing in allows Epic to do stuff like this because they don't have to rely. It's like when they did the rollback on all the assets on the store and you know how much they took from it.
Is this tool by Epic though? I thought this was a third-party tool.
It is.
By Vivox or Vivox or whatever.
But it gives you, you know, but the long and short of it is their options are open, you know, because they're making, you know, so much money on this.
So this is in Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, and PlayerUnknown's in PUBG.
Nice.
So it's in two of the big ones.
Oh, and see, this is how off of it I am. It's not even an announcement from Epic. It's an announcement from Vivox. You know,
compatible out of the box with PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. Nice. So it's pretty much every platform except for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's true. It
36 hours from getting a developer getting the SDK to being live in the game.
Yeah. If you believe that, I've got some land to sell you with a bridge in Arizona. You know, and we've done a lot of working with SDKs, and we've got a big client that we're working with, you know, their SDKs and literally helping them, you know, formulate it right now. Every single SDK that you talk to says, hey, yeah, you can put it in less than 48 hours. It's never that easy.
Depending on how big your team is and
well, depending on how much other stuff it breaks in your game when you start doing it. It's just it's easier if you are working on Unreal or they have it, you know, a plug-in for Unity or something along those lines, but it's never cut and dry like that.
Cut and paste.
Whatever. You know.
Cut and dry. Cut your face.
This is to encourage more studios to adopt its technology. Vivox will give its SDK away for free. Most companies do. The small studios can then launch their games and build an audience, and it will only begin charging those developers for using its tech once a game surpasses 5,000 people simultaneously on the first time. And that's great. I don't know that it's that. Most of these SDKs are free. So, but yeah, it's still.
I mean, that could be an announcement. You know, we made something free that's everything else is free. I don't know.
That's sometimes free. But anyway, it is still good because you do get, you know, there is a big issue in the industry with, you know, the better kits and SDKs and tools that you can use are, you know, smaller teams don't have access to them or can't get support with them, which is usually the big deal. And so it is good that they can look down and see, here are the same tools that the big guys are using. And so we can get out in front of this stuff too. So good for them.
Wow. So there's an article that I'm just going to throw up. I'm going to throw up here. Friendly ghost haunts PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Apparently, the guy that's running these matches, custom matches, when you die, you can go in using the Vivox SDK or something, and you can talk to the players even though you're dead.
That can't possibly be fair.
No, that can't be fair, but it sounds fun. Sounds fun.
But can't you do that in Fortnite though?
Ooh, and freaking haunt
like,
people.
And here's the other side of it. You can, most players are going to be like on Discord or something anyway when they're playing, so it's not like it's that unusual for people to be able to communicate once they're dead,
right?
But
he made the rule where you have to go in solo, but then you can hook up with other people through invoice chat to try and team up. Because on PUBG, when you're playing, you don't see the other person's name above them, right? You just see another person, so you don't know exactly who is who.
No, but you can yell out that there's somebody there.
So, anyways, okay. Valve changed how Steam search works, furthering its new anything goes model. All right, I'm curious about this, Jay. What did this article say right here?
Well, all right, so we got to back up to an article that we were going to talk about earlier in the week before I started, dying. There was an article late last week, early this week, where and we're talking about how several small developers, and it was typically developers that were doing, the narrative story with the anime girls and things that are going to get flagged as adult only or at least risque. But, they were being prevented from launching on Steam because, Steam was like, we're not going to let you launch until we get these tools in place. And they were like, okay, so when these tools are going to be in place? And they're like, I don't know. If you've ever worked with Steam, that's pretty much how things go. When you're, talking to them about new features or updates to the client or anything else like that, it's not like a very clear process, and you can't get a real date out of them on virtually anything along those lines. So these developers were justifiably upset because their game was ready, they wanted to launch, but they can't because Steam was putting together some arbitrary tool that they couldn't even tell them when it was going to be ready. And so apparently it didn't take that long because now they've launched their tool. And so you're going to hear two different sides of the same story. It basically lets you expand the number of hashtags that you don't see come up in your feed or your, as your, what's that thing? Is it called the feed that you get your queue? It, currently or previously you could label out 3 different hashtags like RPGs or adventure games or survival or whatever it is, and they wouldn't bombard you with stuff about those games. So they've increased that to 10, so you can knock out 10 different categories or hashtags or whatever. But then they also added a filter for mature content, which is anything that we'll say rated R movie wise, or things that are flagged as mature at the retail game.
Peggy 13.
And then and then they have one for adult only as well. So some people are going to look at this and say it's a good thing because now the store is more open and you have better control over what you see, and it's going to raise the water level for everyone. And then you're going to have the people that go, okay, this is Valve just like being lazy again and not wanting to curate or monitor their content at all. And well, they're both true. Neither one.
It's a little mix.
Neither of those are inherently wrong. But they've, and they've also gone and clarified what it means to be, trolling with the games, because that's what they said earlier. It's like, we're gonna let everything in unless you're just trolling, which is basically all the asset flip content that's out there. And everybody's like, what is, define trolling? Well, they're not gonna define trolling. They're gonna, but if it's a shit game made by a shit developer who just continually puts out shit, then yeah, you're probably gonna get banned from Steam. I mean, I know publishers that have been banned from Steam for wow, what's it, when you basically pay somebody to do your reviews, or you have some, and they're telling me that we got banned, but it wasn't intentional. It doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. You just lost 80% of your market right there, by going and doing this stuff. So getting kicked off Steam is a very big deal. But hopefully this helps everybody. I mean, what do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And Steam, and if it doesn't work, at least they are trying to find something that does work. You know what I mean? They're adapting to the situation. That shows that they're at least trying to figure something out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's good, instead of them just,
I don't have a problem with it.
At least they're not like, oh, let's make this new feature that nobody has ever asked for or wanted or even mentioned. And, unlike some places that I know that do that, like, why in the world would you do this? Frustrating, but
sorry. Yeah, anyway. I think it's good. I mean, you're going to open up the market. You're going to raise awareness. Now, granted, the only real place you're going to be raising awareness right now is with, porn content. But you know what? To each its own. It's the internet. It's not like you can't get it somewhere else. And if you don't want to see it, block it out.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Easy peasy.
All right, let's skip the next one that's on our list. I want to hit that last because I think that's an interesting discussion.
I'll move it. You want to copy and paste it to the
I'll move it.
The butt end. Did it move? Oh, there you go. All right. So this one, Overwatch and Intel launched
Overwolf.
Overwolf and
right.
Intel. Overwolf is the like overlay stuff, isn't it?
I believe so. Because they do mods.
$7 million mod fund. Money is available to devs of apps and services for existing games to be distributed on Overwolf's App Store. Overwolf was purchased by who purchased Over? Didn't Overwolf just get purchased? Let's see. I you know what? I turned that off. I don't like Overwolf. The App Store for PC gamers.
I'm gonna confess I'm not familiar with it. I'm Googling. I'm going to it right now.
Yeah, they do like the overlays and stuff for gamers.
For streams?
For all kinds of stuff. There's like apps for Fortnite. I don't know what it does.
What? So, all right, there are free ones.
Fortnite Live Tracker, Replay HUD. Oh, that's pretty.
So these are for gamers in general, not necessarily just for streamers.
Right. The Replay HUD. Relive the game to master your performance, review your keyboard and mouse moves, replay kills and deaths. So that would never record for me then. I mean, except for the deaths.
Well, no, maybe it's my NVIDIA card. Every time I die, or on those rare occasions when I actually kill someone, I get a thing that says, death recorded or kill recorded. But that may be because of the NVIDIA SDK that's on there.
Looks like there's skins too for, I don't know.
So this is all right. So here's my
question. 12 Days of Indie. Thank you. Thanks for the host. What's up? Tasty Graph. How's it going? We are doing good. We are both sick, but we are still we're still positive.
We are here for you, the community, and because there's not a lot else going on in our world on a Friday afternoon. I don't see, and I'm going to throw Overwolf out as one of those things that I don't fully understand. Curse has all of this stuff. Nexus Mods has all of this stuff.
Thanks, Loli. Welcome.
They're free. Where the ones that you buy, are they legal? I mean, are all of these overlays and apps legal in the games that they're playing?
Oh, I like, whenever it's popped up and it's like, oh, you want to install this or whatever, I don't. So I don't. Loli, do you know anything about Overwolf? Overwolf.com. Here, I'll post a link. Let's ask Lolinia. He's behind the 12 Days of Indie account, which Powell Group Consulting is one of the sponsors.
Yay!
Yeah, that's in November. Does anyone know anything about Overwolf?
Has anyone ever heard of
anyone
Overwolf?
At all? You've only barely heard of them through TeamSpeak.
But who's on TeamSpeak now? Are people still using TeamSpeak?
You can download TeamSpeak through this site.
Well, yeah, I saw that. But again, are people still using TeamSpeak?
You know what? I just got an ad, or I got an email from TeamSpeak saying that it was like a merch ad. We've got shirts and da-da-da-da you can buy it. And I'm like, I didn't even know.
We're still here.
I didn't even know TeamSpeak still existed. There are still some RPers who use it too. Oh, TeamSpeak? Yeah. TeamSpeak, whenever we would role play in like Arma 3, they didn't have their in-game, they didn't have VoIP in the game. So TeamSpeak has like a way that you can program it to be like when you're near someone in the game, you can hear them from that direction. It's trippy how it works. I don't know exactly how it works, but there are people who still use ICQ. Uh-oh.
You know what? Damn it. You know what I do miss is Trillium. Because, back in the day when all of these things started, you had some people on ICQ and you had some people on AOL, and there was a third one. I can't remember what that third one was. And then Trillium came along and you could, put all of your chat systems under one nice handy dandy. It might have been MSN. It was so nice because you didn't have to have 14 things open. And it's like, I wish, if something like this does exist now, for God's sakes, let me know, because I want to have my LinkedIn and my Skype pop up in something, completely different. Well, I say that, but then Microsoft probably get ahead of it. Skype is the bane of my existence these days.
What's with the soundboard? I'm just playing ICQ sounds. Just playing ICQ sounds. Yeah.
But it's rare that you get something that comes into a market and just simply, utterly
destroys everything else.
And it's like, usually you have different things pop up, be it a game or a tool or whatever. And it's like, okay, option A does this better and option B does this better. But Discord came in and said, okay, we're going to fundamentally make everything better. So other than the fact that you have used TeamSpeak, if you're a TeamSpeak user and you have used it for a decade, what advantage does TeamSpeak have over Discord now? Because Discord has destroyed everything. It just simply does everything better.
I don't know.
You don't know either.
Everyone is using Discord. It looks prettier. Discord looks much prettier than TeamSpeak.
It does look much prettier. I'll agree with that as well.
They did a great job with their GUI. The one thing I don't like about Discord, and I don't understand, is when you go to Discord and you're setting like the different permissions for roles, there's 3 buttons, right? You can have on, off, and then something in between. What the hell is that something in between? Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me show you. Let me just pull up a Discord app. Let's get my Discord open. The between is the everyone role. Right, but why even have that? What is the purpose of that? All right, let me go to my server here, and let me go to, there's the sounds right there. Server settings. It's going to do it because okay, so. I got to find it. Anyways, yes, there's 3 roles. It's like a check mark, a red X, and then something that's just like a line. Oh, it's whatever the role can normally do. But what's the purpose of doing that? Apparently, it's not on.
Well, maybe if you want to put somebody in a role, but you don't want to hear them talk. So you could mute it or mute everyone and then
I can't find where those settings are.
Whatever role that would be for the in the middle.
So if you have something that not everyone can do, then that role shouldn't be able to do it either. What's the purpose of that? Why not just have on and off? It's either on or it's either off. Or it's something that not everyone can do, then this role shouldn't be able to do it either. Why not just have an on-off switch? It's confusing to me. Anyways. Yeah, I can't find it up on what I'm talking about, so... Damn Discord. But that confused me for so long, and I don't understand. I always just I just ignore what that does, and I just turn whatever rolls on and off.
I rarely ever look at ours.
It's more user friendly to program it into everyone and then make changes per role rather than to have to make the same changes for every role. But you can still do that with on or off. You can just program the everyone role to whatever you want, and then whenever you create new roles, it just accepts that programming. Yeah. Okay. What do we got next?
We're on way too many drugs to be discussing, in-depth user interface policies on Discord.
user interface policies. That could be our next show. User interface policies.
The drugs or the user interface policies?
Oh.
Lowell says it's very handy, so just go with it.
Okay, it's super handy. All right, I don't understand it, but if you guys say it's handy, then okay. I'll believe you. Green Man's Gaming grown between 25 to 30% every year. That's insane. I didn't know Green Man Gaming was actually doing that.
One that we constantly talk about in terms of the other stores that you should be on. And I have always felt that the folks over at Green Man don't get the respect that they deserve. Are you going to sell as many units on Green Man Gaming as you are on, Steam? No, you're not. But it is still a very good platform to have your stuff on. And the fact that they're growing like that is, further indication that we need more stores than, just Steam. I want to know, and I know we'll never know because Amazon will never tell us. I would like to know how Amazon's digital growth has grown versus Green Man Gaming, because I would be willing to bet cold hard cash it's not the same level of growth that Green Man is seeing.
Excellent. Oh, another 12-day sponsor. Awesome.
Oh, Green Man is? That's awesome. Now, I can't remember, when you buy through Green Man Gaming, are you getting a Steam key? I think you are.
If it's on Steam. But like in this article, it says,
oh, wait, you want me to read the article?
No, back in 2010, when we first started selling third-party DRM games on Green Man Gaming, 90% of the games were on Steam. Now there are months where only a fraction of the games that are being sold are on Steam. Well, saying a fraction, I mean, it could be 15/16. That's a very vague.
It could be 98%.
I mean, you can't go like only 90% of the games were on Steam. Now only a fraction. So, 90% is basically a fraction. It's 9/10. So, not to just totally dig on what he's saying, but that's, I think, funny. You're seeing big titles like all of the EA games, all the Ubisoft games being sold via different platforms. Some of the biggest forecast games coming in the fourth quarter are going to not be on Steam. There's a fragmentation taking place. One of the biggest games of 2017 wasn't on Steam. Yeah, Steam keys, console keys. Rest description for numeric values. You can't be arsed to Google. Oh, shit.
I need to use that for that word more.
It's a
in my
fraction.
vocabulary. I cannot be arsed to do that right now.
Arse.
I think it's smart on their side because, you know, EA and Ubi don't want to put their new releases on Steam because they don't want to give Steam 30%.
Right.
But if you're coming in and you're second in line or third in line or wherever Green Man falls in here, I'd guess they're below GOG. Then you can go to EA and say, launch on us and we'll only take 10%. You know, you take a much smaller portion, but, you know, in doing so, you're driving traffic, you know, to your site for other stuff. I mean, it's not technically a loss leader because you're not losing money on it, but it's a very good way to differentiate yourself in the market right now. So I like that idea.
I just the way he explains stuff is trippy. Wind the clock forward 9 years. We have a successful company that has 100 people engaged with it right now. What does that mean? Does that mean he has 100 people working with them? Does he? I don't understand what that means.
Which paragraph is that in?
Oh, it's like the second to last one.
Oh, okay.
The guy knows how to explain stuff. I just question stuff.
It has 100 people engaged with it. I'm guessing
he's gonna marry 100 people. That's what it is.
It's they've got 100 staff between full-time and contractors. That's what that is.
Yeah. Or volunteers.
But you can also see, you look at how many, you know, they say in the article they have 667 publishers that they're working with. Well, there are a lot of publishers. There aren't over 600 of them. It's closer to like 500, 550. But by publisher, they're meaning anyone who publishes on there, which is also the developers who self-publish. And that's a much, much smaller number than
Fig.
Epic. I mean, not Epic. I was looking at that icon. Steam has. And so you're getting, you know, I don't think they do the level of curation that GOG does, but you are getting, if you're a developer, you're getting more eyeballs on your game because there's less competition out there for it.
PC, VR, PlayStation, and gift cards. It doesn't say anything about Xbox though.
Where at?
I'm just on the Green Man Gaming website.
Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. Or Switch. Anyway, but no, that's good. And if you're getting ready to launch a game on Steam and you haven't looked at, you know, Green Man, I encourage you to do so. It's not an ridiculous amount of work to get it up on there, and you're just going to expand your. They're
actually publishers as well, apparently.
Yeah, they do. They will if they like. They're not funding like millions of dollars in projects, but they do have a program where you can go to them and say, you know, would you be interested in helping us get this, you know, to the finish line? So, yeah, I like those guys.
Excellent. Little flashy flash there. All right, what do we got next here? Games intelligence firm SuperData acquired by analytics company Nielsen.
Hey, hold on, time out. Taller knew Fig is infinitely pickier about what they choose to go with than Green Man is. You got to have a lot of, you know, upcoming support or a track record. You know, it's very, very hard for a younger team, a less experienced team, to get a game funded by Green Man than it would be for a game funded by Fig, because Fig takes like 1 or 2 games a year, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. So, and this is like, congratulations to Used, and he's somebody that I've known for years, and they do a fantastic job at SuperData of putting together statistics and numbers and all of this stuff. A lot of the times when you see news on Gamasutra or somewhere that says, X game is forecasted to sell this many units, or, it has sold, or this is how the market penetration for Switch is growing right now. 9 times out of 10, if you look at the bottom of that article, that number came from SuperData. And it's a bit ironic to me that Nielsen is now buying them, because SuperData came about because of the lack of, data that companies like Nielsen, because Nielsen's been in the game industry for a while, that Nielsen and, MPD and the traditional business intelligence companies had. They did great for giving you forecast numbers and sales numbers for games at retail, because MPD in particular, they would get the actual sell-through numbers from every store except Walmart, but everybody knew how much market share Walmart had, so you just kind of like in your head added that percentage to the end of it, and that's what Walmart had added to that game. But as everything started going digital, a lot of these companies started not floundering, but obviously their data wasn't nearly as good as it used to be, because it couldn't take into account any of the digital stuff. And SuperData came in and filled that role. And so now Nielsen is buying SuperData, which again, congrats to those folks, but I'm worried about what it means for data coming in for the smaller companies, because Steam Spy is being hamstrung by Valve whenever possible. And you couldn't ever go get hyper accurate data from SuperData for free anyway, but they did do a lot of stuff, and put out a lot of information that was free. And so my concern is, now that they're in the hands of Nielsen, is that going to continue? And I would frankly doubt it is.
So that's going to be a big deal for a lot of people then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's one of the places that I go to fairly regularly, and their stuff is, I mean, it's not cheap. You're looking at hundreds to thousands of dollars for some of their reports. Let's see here. I'm on their site now. So, for example, if you wanted the report on the collectible card game market and what it's done and what it's projected to do through 2020, that's a $2,500 report. So these things aren't cheap. But they have, like, the esports one is free, and they do have a lot of free stuff. Not a lot of free stuff. They do have some free stuff, but their reports are geared towards publishers that can afford to pay for this stuff, and frankly, investors and service providers, like a lot of the ad companies and all the people that put all the other stuff into games for us.
Excellent.
Yay. So what we got next?
Honor of Kings.
Honor of Kings, yes. So China's having a fun time with new policies on games. They have stopped issuing, new game approval, whatever you get, certificates or codes, or you can't get a new game approved to be sold in China right now. And now they're going to let you Now they're going to make you put your real name in, so you can't have a Twitter handle or any kind of handle for gaming anymore. And yeah, there was another one where they have increased video game restrictions to combat myopia in children.
Nearsightedness.
Yeah. So where is this? Blah blah blah.
Regulators are limiting the number of online games being released in China through a freeze on new game approvals.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago, and that's
so
been...
Tencent has also said that the same real name registration requirement will come to its other games in due time. So what does that mean? League of Legends and
they're not going to do
it, and
they're not going to do it in the U.S. yet. There's no way.
No, just in China.
I wouldn't have a problem if they did, but, and I know I'm in the gigantic minority on that, but they're simply not, going to do it in the U.S. yet. But what they will do is, start popping it around to some of their other, territories. But at the same time, Tencent is usually a minority owner. I believe they're a minority owner in Epic. I don't know about Riot, and I believe they are minority owners in Bluehole.
Pretty sure they're a minority owner in Riot. I know they own part of Riot, so.
I don't think that they've got enough juice into those games yet that they can force it to be done. They own part of Ubi. If you want to know just how much Tencent owns, they own part of Epic, Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, Riot, Bluehole,
ACP, welcome.
A lot of companies.
Pinky in every pie. Taller than you says.
Yes, exactly.
Pinky in every pie.
If you have that much money, it's the brilliant way of investing. It's like, we're not going to take a risk on anything because we're going to invest in everything. So,
Video
it's
games,
pretty much
movies,
tampons.
Tencent is in everything.
Look, so when they announced, when this, I'm looking at a different article, but between the announcement of China not, having new games being done, new games being cleared to be released yet, and the guide that and the rules they put down about how often kids can play and how long they can play to combat myopia, Tencent shares fell more than 5% in value. 5% in value of Tencent was $20 billion.
Jeez.
That is crazy. The firm is thought to account for 42% of China's mobile gaming. That is crazy. But they're an absolutely huge. Oh, I actually have a funny Tencent story.
So they're a $1 trillion company then.
I'm sure.
Jeez.
So we had a client a couple of years ago who were, and they still are, they're doing a lot of really cool stuff in VR. And it wasn't a game. They were doing something else. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to out them on this, but we were managing the GDC for their trade company, their trade government group. So they had about 10 companies coming in, and we had sat down with each company and gone through what they were doing and what they needed, and arranged meetings and done the outreach to all these companies. And then, we were managing the show on the floor as well, making sure people showed up to their meetings and, everybody was in the right place at the right time, and, all of that kind of stuff that goes along with managing a trade show. Well, the head of this company just disappeared for an entire day. And we're like, where in the hell is he? He's missed 3 meetings, and we're calling him and we're not getting anything. And so finally, at the end of the day, he comes back to where our area was, and we're like, what's going on? He said, we got started talking to, the VR firm. It was one of the big ones. and a hardware manufacturer. And when they saw what we were doing and we talked about it, they were so excited about it that they literally shoved me into a meeting room and they just started funneling people into it because they wanted these people, you know, to meet us and hear what we were doing, which is awesome for them because they were getting, you know, great exposure. It's one thing to have a, you know, a publisher or a hardware manufacturer or someone come to your booth at, you know, at a show or come because they had a meeting set up. You know, it's another layer when they're at another booth and that company goes, these guys are doing such awesome stuff with our technology that you need to talk to them right now. And they've shown it in there. So he said, I think I did something that was, you know, a little embarrassing. And we're like, I said, what happened? He said, you know, a woman came in and she said, I'm so-and-so and I'm from Tencent. And our client looked up, and they weren't from the game industry. It's not like the guy was just, they came from movies and television and more linear media. But he looks up at her dead serious and goes, oh, and so what do you do? And I was like, oh my God, I would have just absolutely given anything to see the look on her face when you straight up didn't know who Tencent was. And I was like, that's classic. He said, so she told me, and he said, they're apparently a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, they're a pretty big deal. So anyway, yes.
It's a good story.
It is.
Oh, Tencent.
Look at Tyler New's doing math. I can't do math. There's no room in math for the show today, Tyler New. So anyway, yeah, Tencent owns some of everything, and Honor of Kings is going to, you have to use your. So what do y'all think? I mean, obviously, I don't care if I have to use my real name in a game because, you know, there's the side of I'm not doing anything wrong, but yeah, there is the side of somebody else can find you and do horrible shit. But if it doesn't go that far, I don't know, Andy. I think something needs to be done, you know, with the rampant hostility. And, you know, on one level, it's just, you know, people being trolls and griefing. You know, on the other level, it's people being swatted.
Yeah,
which is,
it might help with trolling and bullying, but then again, they will get trolled and bullied in real life because everyone knows our identity.
But conversely, you also know who's doing it because you know that person too.
Not really.
That's true.
I mean, if I'm playing a game against you and I know your name, I can go on some anonymous social media or whatever and harass you. That's what I've been doing for the past 3 months anyway, so.
Are you the one that's been trolling me on Fortnite?
Yeah.
You're the reason I suck.
No, not trolling you in game, just out of game. Haven't you looked at your phone and had like random inappropriate pictures? You're like, who's this from?
Oh, are you all of those random Google Hangout messages I get from women? That's who you are?
I don't get those. How are you?
You don't? Those? I don't know. About 6 months ago, I don't know when it started, but I will get like literally spam Google Hangout messages, and so I have to go in and like, you know, block all of this stuff. But yeah, I don't know what.
I get like Facebook requests from these hot young girls, and then I go and look at them, and it's like, this account does not exist. Like, good.
Oh, there's somebody, and this is like, you know, one of our pet peeves right now. And I'm not on Facebook that much anymore, other than, you know, the stuff that we do through the show and through, you know, our company. But there is a woman, but not a woman. It's a bot of some sort who is on Facebook and claims to be our Japanese country manager. And I'm like, no, this is, and then, you know, furthermore, her address is the same address as, you know, the same area that I'm in. And I'm like, this is, and you can't do anything about it as a, you know, company owner. There's nothing you can do. It's like, we reported, you know, the account from 2 different people, but, you know, Facebook's like, well, so yeah, anyway.
That's silly. All right. Do we want to talk about the Olympics thing, or we want to talk about shows?
Yes, I do. And I want to do a bigger show on esports in general. So the Olympics and esports has been, it comes up every 2 years. The minute the Olympics come up, there we're going to talk about, is esports going to be in it? And so last week or this week, the IOC president, which, I mean, frankly, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the first place, because every time you turn around, somebody on the IOC board is being, drugged down for fraud and gambling, and not, basically taking bribes and all kinds of, crap. Anyway, so, he has said that games will not be in the Olympic, esports will not be in Olympics, because, games promote violence and discrimination, and from our viewpoint are contradictory to the Olympic values, and therefore cannot be accepted. Okay, I will give you PUBG, or even Fortnite, even though, Fortnite, Overwatch, yes, they are violent. It's cartoon violence. There's no blood in it. There's nothing that you don't see in most cartoons, but let's look at, things like Rocket League, or, I mean, you couldn't do Madden because it's not a global pastime, but, FIFA, you could easily do FIFA. You could do Rocket League. There's a lot of games out there that, it is 12. It is. And that's one of the points that they bring up. And 12 Days says throwing a javelin doesn't promote violence. A lot of the Olympic sports came from battles. We have fencing, where you are practicing poking holes in people. It's the biathlon, in the Winter Olympics. Okay, we're going to, do a bunch of laps of cross-country skiing, and then we're going to shoot rifles at the target. There are rifle shooting, shooting is in the Olympics. And so
there's boxing.
Yes. Hell, I mean, that one, you're literally fighting other people. Wrestling, not nearly as violent as boxing, but it's another example and a check on the fact that as big as esports is getting, and it's getting huge, it's been huge, but now it's getting mass market huge. You still have this, layer of ignorance that's out there with, completely, pushing away, games because kids play them or they're all violent. When you're dealing with the Olympics, where let's see how far I can throw the javelin. Let's see if I can beat the crap out of this other guy. Let's, go and do shooting. And there are violent, sports in there. So somebody did, bring that up. And he's like, well, of course, every combat sport has its origin in a real fight among people, but sport is the civilized expression about this. If you have e-games where it's about killing somebody, this cannot be brought in line with our Olympic values. You're not actually killing anybody. I fail to see the difference between, practicing killing somebody with fencing and killing an avatar.
Because it's a representation of it. It's exactly what he said that he wants, a representation of it.
Yeah, it's a civilized expression about this. It's absolutely horseshit. We're going to get esports are going to be in the Olympics. It may not be, for, whichever ones are coming up next.
Or there will be its own Olympics. You know what I mean?
Well, they already announced that, the 2022 Asian Games will feature esports, but then they pull back on it and like, well, I don't know, so it's out there, but it's gonna happen. Competitive Pokemon. How would you do competitive Pokemon? I mean, you could do the
Where they
what's
fight.
the Pokemon fighting game that's on Switch? Pokken Tournament or whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things that it's frustrating. When I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've seen everything from let's blame everything on Doom to the hot coffee incident with GTA. I've seen my share of controversies.
What's the hot coffee incident?
So it's that is what spurred the the clause that you see in every publishing contract now that says if there's something, you as the developer are representing that there is nothing in this game that you didn't tell us about that is going to get everybody in trouble. So shortly after San Andreas came out, and it might have been after the PC version, a modder over in Europe dug down into the files and found a mini game in GTA that was related to having sex with your dates, because you could go out in that one and pick up dates and go on dates and basically build like reputation with them and then get perks later on. So it's not like GTA isn't already in enough trouble for, not trouble, but it doesn't catch enough shit for letting you pick up hookers and kill them. It is now this guy went in and found a mini game which obviously they had put into the program, but then before launch sometimes said, we're going to backtrack and we're going to take that out. It was called hot coffee because every time if your date went well enough or you had enough rep with this person that you were dating, when you pulled up to drop them off at their house after the date, she would say, do you want to come in for some hot coffee? And then it went into like an actual honest to God sex scene where you had to do button combinations to earn points, or I don't remember all the details of it.
That's just like real life then.
What exactly? If you don't know the right combos, you're not gonna win. It absolutely exploded. Walmart pulled it off the shelves. There was all kinds of backlash from everyone, and Take-Two sitting there going, you're mad at us for something we didn't even have in the game. Yes, it was in the underlying code, but it's not like it was
accessible.
Yeah, exactly. But regardless, it absolutely it is one of those things that happened that not only set off a whole nother round of talk about regulation and arguing and complaint and everything else, but it actually fundamentally changed. Well, yeah, they did technically ship it. You're right. It actually fundamentally changed contracts that we do, because from that point on, every publishing contract that you see has a clause in it that, we jokingly refer to as the hot coffee clause. So, if this were to happen again, then, and we got to remember Rockstar is actually a part of Take-Two, so you can't really sue yourself. But if I'm a developer and I had something like this in there, but then pulled it out and said, okay, it's not going to be in there, and shipped it with a publisher, and someone finds it and everybody like points blame at the publisher can turn around and sue the living shit out of you as the developer because, you are representing that there's nothing in there that won't, basically get them in trouble.
I just don't understand why developers don't take that part of the code out.
Sometimes it's laziness. Sometimes, there could be aspects of that subset of code that if it's removed will break the game. One of our clients, they weren't a client at the time, but a company that had been a client of ours years and years ago got in trouble because they were doing the PS1 or PS2 or whatever. They were doing one of the console ports for Tiger Woods Golf. And, you have to, I'm sure Sony has some technical reason for it as well, but, the content of your game has to fill up, you know, the disc. And so if you remember, I'm sitting here looking around for like a DVD or CD, like I have one at my desk. If you remember, you could look at the back of a DVD and see
the lines.
You know, how, you can see how much content's on it. So my guess is, you know, Sony didn't want somebody picking up Tiger Woods golf game and going, how good is this when it's only, you know, it only takes up half the disc of this thing. So what developers would do is they would put fluff, you know, data on the disc to basically, you know, use it all up. Well, they intentionally and then forgot to remove do you remember the kickoff episode of South Park where like George Clooney played the dog and like Santa and Jesus got into a fight? That they had that video on the disc to use up the rest of the space, and they forgot or didn't care or for whatever reason didn't remove it. And so it went to publishing. Of course, nobody at Sony looks at it to see what's actually on there. You know, it clears all of that stuff. And it's only after the game had been, you know, manufactured and sent to retail that somebody got, you know, the disc and started looking into the code of the disc. And, you know, here's the pilot episode of South Park in there. And so that was pre, you know, hot coffee. But
I wonder if those discs are worth money.
I doubt it seriously. I don't even know what.
I mean, did they pull them and then?
Yeah, they had to pull them and then. I mean, because technically, it's a trademark. I mean, it's a copyright.
Yeah.
It's an IP violation.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be, because I'm sure at the time you couldn't even buy a box set or a season of South Park because it was pretty. It was pretty early on. I'm Googling, see when it was.
Tiger Woods / South Park.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I Googled. It was back in 1998. PGA Tour, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 99. So yeah, way back when. God, that's like a long time ago. I am old. All right. So anyway, esports is still being shunned from the Olympics because people are ignorant. That's our takeaway.
$10, you can get one on You can get one on.
Oh, you actually got it on eBay?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. All right, so we've got a couple of upcoming shows. You know, back to our theory that there's a show every week if you want to go to it. GameOn is happening and I'm apologize to the people of Lithuania. I'm sure I'm going to mess this up. But Vilnius, November 2nd and 3rd, they have a indie town segment.
And I won't be there, but it's fine. Yeah, they can still call it that.
I would actually like to go. I know some of the people that run it, and I haven't seen them in years. And
I'm really going to just trademark my name. And if anybody wants to go to the indie anything, they have to.
Oh my God.
I would sue them.
Can you do that?
Oh, let's look into it. Then we can
let's don't look into it until until you agree not to sue me. So there's the links to, all of them actually. So then we've got Game Rome, which is ironically enough in Rome, Italy, the end of November. And then the Taipei game show over in Taiwan, which is coming up in January. And there's also there should be a Casual Connect in January. I'm not 100% sure where it is, though. Give me a minute and I will figure that out. They don't have a 2019 schedule up. So this is at the same time. No, it's not exactly the same time. So in November 12th through the 14th is Casual Connect Asia. And we got Casual Connect Eastern Europe coming up. So even more of this stuff. And again, if y'all are not aware and didn't see our show with David from Occupara Games, they have a fantastic tool that will email you all of this stuff. So when a submission comes up for either speaking at a show or submitting to an indie competition, you'll know, and it won't be like, oh my God, I didn't know that was going on. I probably should have done something about it. So where is Casual Connect Asia taking place? So that's in China in November 10th. So there's, 5 different events going on in the next 4 months that if you're in the area and if it's not a gigantic jump for you, you should absolutely look into. I think that's all of our announcements. We've had a couple of shows off where we didn't have guests, but we've got more coming. So next week we are going to have Yulia from Tiny Build. Do you know what Yulia actually does at Tiny Build? I know her, but I don't know what her actual role is.
You know what? I don't know. I've always talked to her as like a partner. I'm not sure what she does. She does everything. Yeah, Tiny Build is another sponsor for 12 days as well. Brand manager. There we go. That's probably it. Because she does everything. She goes to events. She talks with content creators. She runs stuff. So yeah, Yulia's awesome.
So she's going to be here next Friday. We're going to have a slightly later show because she's out on the West Coast with Indy as well. And while we don't mind dragging Indy out of bed early in the morning, we're not going to do it to everyone. The following week, we're going to have a good friend of mine, and Indy doesn't even know this yet because I was doing this the other night, and of course,
I always know at the last second.
Well, yeah, you can't really expect me to tell everybody what's actually going on. Martine Spans is going to be on, and she works with FGL, who does a lot of stuff with publishing and like different tool sets. FGL has a tool basically that if you put it in your game, it allows you to very easily install a whole bunch of SDKs or APIs or technical mumbo jumbo that's over my head. But more importantly, Martine is a frequent judge on indie game competitions.
Nice.
So we are going to, she's going to be talking us through what they look for, how it happens, and we may grab a couple of indie games and actually have her do some live review on that. That's still all up in the air. That's going to be on the 19th. On that Friday, which is, my birthday, in case, anyone's paying attention. We're going to have another like slightly later show. And Lauren Carter is going to be on, and she's got a fairly unique way into the industry in the first place. But she's got a very cool like narrative game, where you can pick the story and go through all this stuff that's coming out soon.
Excellent.
I saw an article on her. Let me see if I can.
And welcome, Keck9. How's it going? Greetings.
Get here just in time for us to be wrapping up.
You came in just in time.
She is a former RAF pilot. And, now she's got a game coming out soon. So
what's an
that's
RAF?
Going to be Royal Air Force. She's from the UK.
RAF.
I do not know what she flew, but that's like seriously pretty cool. And then the week after that, we have the Jen McLean, who is the executive director of the IGDA.
Yes.
She will be here.
That's all big stuff.
I think that's as far out. Oh my God, I've almost got all of September filled up with real people. So it's not just me and you, Andy.
Jeez.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I just got a confirmation that a dear friend of mine from Epic is going to join us
for some
one
Fortnite.
Day shortly. No, she is actually not on the Fortnite side. She's on the engine side.
Oh,
so
nice.
We're going to be talking about all of the awesome stuff that they are doing on the engine end. So yeah.
Excellent.
See, I have been busy this week.
You have been. Even though you were sick. It's Friday, everybody.
It's easier to do it when you're sick.
Yeah, you just all right.
So,
not every. Did you want to do the friends of the show thing?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about those guys. All right, so shout out to they have a Twitch stream.
Attitudes.
They come from a developer out in John, if you're watching this, Josh, I'm going to try to remember. I want to say Wyoming, but it's two brothers that started the company, and then they have recently, they have an awesome story that we'll get him on, and I'll let them talk about their story. I don't want to spoil it. It's fantastic and heartwarming. But they have been working closely with Sony and now Twitch, and so they have started doing a series along the lines of what we do here, where we're not sitting and playing games, but we're trying to actually teach somebody something. And they've been doing education like game design and coders, or they even have a spot where they're doing some, as they say, they're cooking controller, keyboard, and mouse friendly treats. So apparently stuff that doesn't turn into crumbs. But they have just recently been partnered with Twitch, not necessarily through all the little checklists that you go through on Twitch, but because they were working very closely with them, and Twitch says, hey, this is very cool, and so they ran like a test phase with them to see how it would be going. And now they announced on their Facebook page this big partnership, and that now they're a partner for the show. And I just want to say congrats, because I know those folks, and what they do is very cool, and we're always open to getting more educational content out there.
Excellent.
So yes.
All right. Should we raid somebody then if we're done?
Yeah.
You gotta go pick up the kid, don't you?
No.
It's Friday.
My wife was off work today, so she's gonna go. She's gonna go grab the youngster, and then we're gonna go not tailgate the soccer game.
No tailgate. Well, we have all of these arcade machines to play behind us, so we have plenty of time to do that. Maybe we should stream that, Jay, as us playing all the arcade games behind us. That'd be fun.
I would, but I mean, they keep like moving around sometimes, and it's hard to. Wow, my lighting in here is so good that I can't get that to actually mess up.
Yeah,
I'll be darned.
It's not your lighting; it's my settings. I mean,
Well, yes, yeah, it's that probably more so. Yeah, I would love to do some streaming of me playing stuff, but you're going to hear a whole lot of cussing and a whole lot of dying if we do Fortnite or anything along those lines. So,
well, it is what it is. All right, let's see. What do we got? Here's somebody designing a multiplayer roguelike platformer. Mr. Muffles. Mm-hmm. Here, I'll post this link. You type in. I wonder if I don't think I can do it. I'll type in then you have to type in /raid and then that. And we hope that you guys are subs so that you can post the I Love Indie Games emote. If you're not,
yes,
just post
subs. Them. We can do very much more cool giveaways and follow us and tell your friends about us. We're out here to help the community wherever we can. So
yeah,
yay.
Rip me. Okay, you got to type it in /raid and then Mr.
Oh,
Muffles.
you're literally talking to me.
Yeah.
Now I was totally paying attention.
There we go. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody.